and welcome to Gruppette Automotive. Something I find interesting in the aftermarket automotive world: multimedia integration. We use a few brands for this, but Connex 2 is one we've been using for quite some time and we're quite happy with it. The ADAPTIV MINI range allows us to integrate a front and rear view camera as well as a HDMI input, and we can hook them all up to the factory screen. This makes it look more like a factory option than an aftermarket product. Let's have a look inside. This Mercedes C-Class has a 6.5-inch screen. If it had a 5.8-inch screen, this would still work with that. You'll just have to see which ADAPTIV MINI applies to your vehicle. To install this to the car, what we'll have to do is take out some trims, pull out the stereo, may or may not take out the screen itself. This all depends on the vehicle. We'll go through the process to give you an idea what goes on to fit a rear view camera, in this case, to the factory screen by means of an ADAPTIV MINI media interface. Let's go have a look what comes in the box over there. We've already taken everything out of the box, so you can see them on the bench. First thing I'd like to point out, they make ADAPTIV MINI have quite a large range of manufacturers that they work for. So you can look it up on any of their websites. We have an instruction manual, a plug and play harness. This is really important. It's already provided plug and play, so that even in the case you want to take everything out again, nothing has been touched to the factory setup. The interface itself, where we plug everything in, hook it up to the screen. They also provide a jack-to-jack lead, a power lead, which also gives you the front and rear camera inputs. Finally, the lead that plugs from the interface to the factory screen. Back at the car, and we'll start with the rear. I'd like to show you the camera fitment. You can have a look at the back here and you can see how discreet this camera fits. Let me just open it up a bit so you can have a better look. It's a really smart camera. We just drill a hole at the back of it, go through this trim and enter the boot area. We especially like this camera because not only is it small in comparison, it has this eyeball adjustment that is very convenient for these kind of installations. The camera itself is this code, so you can Google that and find it online. The wiring at the back is all attached to the factory harness to make a smart install. It's all feeded all the way through the cabin to the back of the stereo area. Let's go have a look inside. So, to gain access to the rear of the stereo, you will have to take out some trim. And I have a trim tool here. You need one of these or similar. You insert it behind the trim, give it a good tug, and you start pulling it out. It's a bit more complex at the vents because there are two spring-loaded tabs. You will need to feed a flathead screwdriver or similar in there, get to these tabs, which are these, so you can release this trim. Once this is out, there's just one plug to take out. This gives you access to two locking screws for the stereo. Screwdriver using a Torx. You undo the screw to make it quite loose, but there's no real need to take them out. And once you get them up, you give them a good tap so that it'll release the locking mechanisms to the stereo. Once you've done that, you can pull the stereo out, it'll slide out. This will give you access to all the harnesses and plugs at the back of the stereo. There is one plug in particular at this right hand corner that you may need to release, so it'll give you more access. In our case, we didn't really need to take out the screen because all of the plugs don't need to get to the screen. but I'd like to give you a bit of an insight if you need to take out that screen for any other install. You'll need to release 3 trims: lower, upper, and the front one at the facing you. The lower one is really easy. You just use your trim tool again, lever it up all the way to the other side and pull this out. The top one, again, you insert here, but there are tabs all along. You have to release those first. Once done that to the other side, you can pull it towards you. As you can see, they lock in place. For the screen fascia that goes all the way to the dash binnacle, you take out these 2 pieces of plastic. Behind them are 1-2 screws. Undo those, but you don't pull it out first. You lower it down. You use your trim tool to lever it out, but then you just lower it down first. There are 2 plugs at the back of the screen. Once you undo those, you can lever on and pull the whole fascia out. Going back to the install on the plugs, in our case what we did is the interface module was placed behind the carpet in the passenger side tunnel, right behind there. That way we could fish the wires from the stereo, from behind the stereo, all the way down into the tunnel and plug to the interface. Once we put everything back together, I like to show you everything functioning and you get an idea of the end result. Time to see the finished result. One cool feature I really like about this ADAPTIV MINI interface is the ability to give you also the front and rear parking sensors on screen display. So while you're looking at the screen, you also get a good idea of where your parking sensors are. And that way you don't have to leave the screen to look at the original factory parking sensor displays. Hope you found this interesting. If yes, please do subscribe, and maybe we'll see you next time with another video. Thank you very much.